catch your breath when I look at you. Are you holding back like the way you do? Cause I'm trying to walk away, but I know this crush ain't going away. Ain't going away. Why do I keep running from the, why do I keep on running? All I ever think about, mesmerized, and I just want to know. CherishingFlo fam, welcome back to my channel where we're all about love, positivity, being a girl boss, and everything in that vicinity. In today's video, we are doing another Sunday story time. In today's Sunday story time, you're going to be talking about my one and only one night stand. Wow. Yes, y'all, I had a one night stand. Literally, I slept with a guy one time and that was it. So this video is going to be a little bit explicit, so children, please click off if you are under the age of 17 years old. Please do not watch this video. Thank you and good night. If you're new to the channel, then go ahead and subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future Sunday story times. If you're not new to this channel, then welcome back. Thank you for loving me as much as I love you. And yeah, let's get into this video. My one night stand was with a guy that I technically knew already. We went to the same church pretty much growing up, but he was a few years older than me, so the people that he hung out with were not the people that I hung out with, and I wasn't one of those kids that was involved in all the extracurriculars and all that stuff. So he was. So my friends all knew who he was and everything. And I remember the first time right before the night that we intermingled and got to chit-chatting and all of that was at a party. I went to a party with my best friend, Eccentric Rebel. If you guys aren't subscribed to her, then go subscribe to her. Shout out to my bestie. We went to a party, and a lot of stuff happened at that party. I actually have other story times that I have another story time that I could tell about that party because I low-key almost got kidnapped. But, like, also, I saw this guy. We're going to call him Chris. We'll call him Chris. I saw him throughout the night because he was actually one of the tallest dudes there. I remember that. But, you know, the party was jumping. There was a lot of people there. I was jumping up and down. We was all drinking. We was having a good old time. You know, I was 18 at the time. And when I was 18, y'all, I was a whole wild child. I was out here just partying, drinking. I was doing the thing. We was jumping up and down, laughing. And then at some point during the night, I will never forget this because this is when I got attracted to him because he got real hype at some point. Like he was fired up and he took off his shirt and his body was kind of like, okay, with the body. And then he was jumping up and down. And then when I was looking at him, I looked at my friend and I was like, he looks like he is aggressive. He looked like he would just throw me around a little bit. He looked like he'd be good in the sack, basically. My friend was like, essentially, T was like, okay. So she wasn't paying me no attention because back then, you know, I was like, I was a little promiscuous, a little bit. And she just, you know, she didn't care what I did. She was just like, whatever, if that's what you want to do. So at some point in the night, he noticed me. I noticed him before I knew that he noticed me. And at some point, like later, after the whole situation with the one person happened, I was outside and he came over and sat next to me. He was like, hey, you're really cute, da-da-da-da-da-da. He was like, do we know each other? You look kind of familiar. And I was like, yeah, you do too. And then he was like, oh, do you go to church? And I was like, yeah. And then he asked me what church I went to, and when I told him, he was like, oh, I go to that church. I've been going to that church my whole life. And I was like, me too. So he was like, how is it that we've been going to the same church but we've never spoken to each other before? So we started conversing, and eventually the party died down. People was leaving, and it was only like a few people left, you know, the drunk passed out people. And so me and him sat on the floor in the corner, and we was just chit-chatting. He was talking about how, you know, he was looking for a girlfriend. He was da-da-da-da. I'm listening. I'm just like, knowing full well that I'm not looking for no boyfriend. Knowing full well I was just trying to, you know... But I was like, and he kept touching me, and I was letting him. I was like, okay, with your hands. I like what you're doing with your hands, sir. So I know y'all probably just shaking y'all head at me because I was something else. I was going through a phase, y'all. I went through a phase where I did not care. I did not care. Luckily, that phase didn't last long, and I didn't go getting involved with a whole bunch of dudes. He said something along those lines, and we exchanged numbers. Next day, we texting or whatever, we talking, and we talked on via text message for like 2 days before he told me to come through. I already knew what was up when I was going to come through. Like, I already knew what I wanted to do. So, but, you know, when I got there, though, I drove over there by myself to his house, to his apartment, and his homeboys was there. So I was kind of like, yeah, this is not sexy. I'm about to go home. But then he was like, nah, they finna leave and we gonna be had a place to ourselves. And I was like, okay, cool. So we sitting there. He got his arm around me, telling me how beautiful I look. At the time, I had long hair that was like, actually my hair was around the same length that my locks are, and I had my hair straightened at the time. My hair was straightened. And so I remember the dress I had on and everything, because that was a cute old dress, y'all. I used to with that dress. I wish I still had it, because I would still be looking cute. That dress was cute AF on me. But I actually don't even know what happened to that dress. And I had on this cute little dress, looked like I was from Hawaii or something. And I walked in there. I was looking kind of, a little delectable, brown skin. Y'all know I'm cute. Y'all know. So I sat down, I'm sitting there being cute. Like, you cute. Like, I was like, as soon as they left, bro, I mean, like, niggas ain't even get to lock the door behind them before my guy just jumped on me. I have never been jumped like that in my life. He jumped on me and was just like kissing all on me, and I was like, there was no, like, because I'm the type of person who likes to, to start off slow and then get more passionate and aggressive as it goes on. But he just started off and I felt attacked. I felt like a little bunny rabbit being snatched up by what attacks bunny rabbits? Wolves? Snakes? I don't know. Something that attacks a bunny rabbit. And he was like jumping on me. So I'm sitting there and I'm just, letting it happen because this is what I wanted. I'm thinking, and he was aggressive, just like I thought he would be. So I'm like, yeah, we getting there. I'm finna be whoop, bloop, 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 bloop. But y'all, it was so freaking high. I was like, I was so utterly disappointed. I mean, like, I'm sitting there, like, the whole time I'm just like, I'm not making no noise. I'm sitting there just silent, and he making all this noise, and he's sweating profusely. And, normally, I've been with other guys who sweated a lot, but in that moment, it was kind of just, it was like waterfalls just coming from him. And he wasn't a big guy. He was tall, but he wasn't like a big guy. He was like a slim tone type of guy, which is kind of actually my type, like the slimmer but buff looking dudes. And he was like, and I'm just kind of like, why are you sweating so much? You're not even really doing anything. That's what was throwing me, is that he wasn't really putting in that much work, but he was sweating so much. And I said, do you just sweat at the drop of a hat? You walk from here to the door and you sweat? And at some point, he turns me around to the point where, like, my hands are on the back of the couch. And I'm thinking, in that position, it might be a little bit better, because that position, it's, anyway. So, but it wasn't. And I'm just sitting there. He was messing up my hair because he was sweating into my hair and grabbing my hair. Let me tell you something. If it's a one-night stand, if this is a one-time thing, we about to do this and I'm about to go home, do not touch my hair, because I got to go someplace after this. Because I had no intention of staying after we did what we was doing. And then, he switched from that to doing, the other things that put his face in that downward spiraling area. Boy, when I tell you, but when he did that, though, when he got to having lunch, I was like, this is right here. He was a master at that. The other was awful, but that right there, I was like, you talking about somebody legs and hands, just, look, I hope that this don't, like, get struck down or something. I don't know how this works, but I'm trying to be as, like, unspecific as possible. But I was like, oh my, I was like, yeah. That right there was a memorable experience. And then after the fact, after everything was over with, we're sitting there and he's got his arm around me, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home now. So I texted my friend, I texted Eccentric Rebel, and I said, yo, call me and pretend like you stranded or something like that so I can get up out of here. Y'all know, ladies, y'all know how your friends do. So she waits 5 minutes and then she calls me. I put it on speaker. She talking about how she's stuck somewhere and da-da-da-da-da. And it was like getting late and yada, yada, yada. So I was like, okay, I gotta go help my friend. He was like, oh, do you need me to help? Da-da-da. I said, nope. I got it. She will feel unsafe if some man that she don't know is coming or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay, I understand. Make sure you text me when you get home. Like, he had like a diva. He like, make sure you text me when you get home. All right, shawty. Da 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 da. Like, he was a hood nigga. Like, let's not be confused. This dude was from the streets. Okay. And he was low-key crazy because there's some other things that he did before his friends left that he said, including pulling out a gun, talking about something that had me like, oh, Jesus, fix it. So I leave. I go home. And Valentine's Day is coming up. This is like close to Valentine's Day, like a couple weeks before. And he's all like, so he texts me. He's like, oh, you want to go on a date on Valentine's Day? I didn't reply. I pretty much ghosted him after that experience. I mean, him eating the lunch box was good, was great actually, but the everything else was bad, and I also didn't really like him. If I'm being 100 honest, I didn't really like him. I just wanted to sleep with him one time. Like, I just wanted to get it done one good time because I was curious about if he'd be good at it. I was curious about what it would be like. So I just wanted to try it out one time for the one time. And so I did. And then, after that, I lost all interest in even conversing with him. So I pretty much ghosted him. We had made plans to go out to eat at some point, and I just ditched him. I ghosted him. I didn't talk to him. I didn't say nothing to him. I was like, eh. And it wasn't actually that much later that, like a few weeks later, I ended up seeing him again while I was already talking to somebody new, and it was so awkward. I was scared because he was crazy, and he was known for being crazy. So I was like, I don't know. I don't want to upset him. I don't want to anger him. But also, I don't want nothing to do with him either. So, yeah, that was pretty much what happened in my one night stand, It was an interesting experience. I wouldn't say that I would do it again. I'm glad that me and him did not end up going on any further dates, especially when I saw stuff happen after that made me really glad that I didn't continue on with him. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this story time, then let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys haven't already, then go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future funny Sunday story times and stuff like this that has happened to me in my crazy freaking life. If you want to see other story times, then go to my story time playlist and you guys will see all the other crazy foolishness that has happened in my life, being cheated on, cheating on somebody else, the time I got hit by the time my boyfriend hit me, the time that I, just so much stuff, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.